Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Healing. My name's Bianca and today I'm going to talk about 3 must-dos for manifesting with the moon. Yesterday was the new moon in Taurus. The energy lasts for about 3 days. I'm new to new moon manifesting, if that makes sense. In the sense that I'm not new to manifestation and law of attraction and alchemy has been a big passion of mine pretty much my whole life, but I especially started really getting into it probably about 11-12 years ago. And yeah, there's been some really incredible things that I've manifested in my life through manifestation techniques. I'm just going to put my glasses on because I can't really see anything. That's better. Now, I wrote a little list because I didn't want to forget anything. What I want to say was why manifest with moon. The moon, to be honest, I've always looked to the sun and not really paid much attention to the moon. I know that, you know, the sun is masculine energy. The moon is feminine energy. It's the divine feminine, it's the flow, it's the yin. The sun is the yang. And it also represents the shadows, right? And I feel like my spirit guides really have been guiding me to work with the 13 moons. Earlier this year, I just got this message that I had to work with the 13 moons, and I was like, what does that mean? And then I posted something on Facebook that said something like, choose love over fear. And then the next day I went to a beautiful workshop to learn the Sacred Waters song. If you haven't seen that, go and check that out on my channel. It's a Native American Sacred Water song. And Bear Heart Woman, who was teaching us the song, she straight away said, oh, we're going to be working with the 13 moons. And I think it was a full moon in Virgo at the time. And she said, and this moon has to do with choosing love over fear. So I'm telling you this not because to say, oh yeah, my spirit guides tell me what to do, but because I really feel like all of us have this innate wisdom within us, and we just have to tap into it. It's our intuition that guides us to these things and guides us to the best way forward for us in our own lives. So working with the moons is something that I'm only just beginning to understand, so I thought I would share a bit of the wisdom that I'm learning as I go along, and integrate my knowledge of manifestation and alchemy kind of with the moon. So integrating the masculine and the feminine energies, if you will, which is so prevalent in our society at the moment, where a lot of people are awakening that they are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so it is this integration of spirit and ego, or heaven on earth as well. So 3 things before I do start about talking about the 3 things, or 3 must-dos to manifest with the moon. I wanted to also mention the 13 moons. I stumbled across, well, my guides brought me to look at this website called the Law of Time, and it works with on a 13 moon calendar. So there are 13 moons throughout our 12-month calendar, and the Law of Time works with 13 months of 28 days each. And I've been following this because I've only recently this year started following this because it offers such a beautiful energy to a particular day. Instead of just saying today is what is today? Today is Friday the 23rd or 24th. Friday the 24th of April 2020. If you were to look at the galactic calendar or the 13 moon calendar, it offers you a galactic signature, and it offers affirmations and energy and feeling and statements that give you a sense of what energies to work with today. It runs on like there's multiple symbols and things like that. So if you haven't heard of it before and it's something that sparks your curiosity, go and have a look, because I really highly recommend it. I think there are a few websites out there. The one that I was looking at stumbled across was called the Law of Time, and they offer a whole bunch of information about the Law of Time for free. So yeah, check that out. And you can even go and check out what day you're born. They have a little calculator where you put in your day that you're born, and it comes up with the statements or the affirmations or the mantra, so to speak, or the feeling of the day that you were born. It's really cool. Your galactic birthday signature, I think, is what it's called. So for those of you like me who are new to understanding cycles of the moon, there's pretty much 8 cycles to a moon. So you start with a new moon, and then the full moon finishes in 2 weeks' time, and then it builds up to a full moon, and then it decreases to a new moon again. The reason why it looks like the moon gets bigger or smaller is simply the reflection where it stands to the sun and earth, and the reflection the sun has on the moon, and from what perspective we're looking at it from. But with each cycle, or each step in the cycle, each process in the cycle, it has a different energy that comes with it. So if you think about a new moon to a full moon having a lot of yang energy, it's the time that you take action. It's the time that you actually put focus and intention and inspired action towards your dreams or goals or wishes. And then when it starts to get smaller again, it's that yin energy. It's more about reflection. It's more about going back within and resting and kind of enjoying. Yeah. So if we break that down to a 28-day cycle, so this year is a pretty special year. The second moon, because there's 13 moons in a 12-month calendar, the second moon in 1 month is called, I think, a blue moon. Back in the day, it had a different meaning, but I think in these days, it's the second moon of 1 month that is called a blue moon, and that is happening. This year's blue moon happens to fall on Halloween, the 31st of October, so that's going to be exciting, because I really feel that the energy this year has been the veil between spirit and or heaven and earth, and spirit and ego, or spirit and human, has been so thin, and as well as my psychic senses coming very much on board last year, I really notice, and from the clients that I see, a lot of people are awakening to their own gifts, and more will awaken to their own gifts. So if you are one of those people, congratulations, don't freak out. If you want some more guidance, come and look at my website and see if anything that I do resonates with you. But I can definitely help people transition to understanding what their intuition says, how their spirit is integrating with their ego, those kind of things, because I've been through it all. So other things that I want to talk about is that each moon has a different quality. So whilst the moon cycles have a different energy, the actual new moon that it falls in, or the full moon that it falls in terms of the 12-month calendar or the zodiac signs, and I'm no means a astrologer, I just enjoy dabbling in a few things. So being Taurus season, anybody born from now on this month will be born in the astrology sign of Taurus, and so it is a new moon in Taurus, and the full moon will be the opposite of Taurus. So I think is it Scorpio? Full moon in Scorpio, perhaps. Last month was in April was Aries new moon, and the full moon was in Libra, which is its direct opposite sign. And I don't know about you, but I felt the full effects of that supermoon. The supermoon is when the moon is very close to it's the closest time to the earth. So that was the supermoon in Libra, which had a lot of emotions very heightened, because the moon, especially when it's full, really does govern the shadow aspects of ourselves, with the sun really reflecting wholly our shadow self. So really being able to bring light and seeing that, for it to come to the surface so that it can be cleared. So what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, manifesting with the new moon in Taurus, for example, it's going to bring in energies of Taurus energy is very much about home, stability, financials, anything to do with your finances and prosperity. It's also got to do with, because the planet of Taurus is Venus, it's also got to do with sensuality, sexuality, self-worth, that yin energy, that flow energy, a bit of indulgence, yeah, those finer things in life, comfortability, and things like that. So it's a good idea, since Taurus governs kind of financials and stability and home and things like that, to manifest those kind of things that you want. There is other ways of doing it with astrology. I know that if you really want to go a little bit deeper, according to your birth chart, you look for where Taurus sits in your birth chart, in which house, and then you kind of work on that house and the qualities of that house. Again, I'm not going to get into that in this video, because yeah, I'm going to focus on the 3 things that must-dos when manifesting with the new moon. So let's get to it. So number 1, write a list and get clear about what it is that you want to manifest. And I say write a list because that's how to kind of get clear in the mind on a practical level of getting clear on what you want to manifest. However, the mind actually doesn't think in words, it thinks in symbols and pictures. So as soon as you write your list, do what you can, whether you think you're artistic or not, we're all creative. So start doodling, drawing symbols, drawing pictures, maybe do a vision board, cut out some magazine stuff, and do it that way, because it will help your mind actually absorb and understand what it is that you're wanting to create. So that's number 1. Number 2, highly, highly, highly recommend meditating on what it is that you want to manifest. Why is meditation so important? Because it gets rid of it releases the mind of all the other clutter. It slows down things and gets you out of the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system, and puts you back more in a scientifically proven meditation, puts you more in a parasympathetic nervous system. So really calming yourself down. And when we are calm and in the present moment, we are able to hear and feel and hear our intuition and feel spirit and feel ourselves a lot more. So meditate. When you are meditating, think in the mind. So get the mind going and just focus and think about what it is that you want to meditate, and then drop into your heart space. Breathe in light from above, breathe in light from below, from Mother Earth, and bring it in, and just focus on your heart. And when you're doing this and focusing on your heart, focus on the feeling that the manifestation is going to give you. So it's really important to understand that, for example, with this new moon in Taurus, if you're wanting more money, for example, and wanting to have more money, or financial freedom, it's not about feeling or seeing money. Whilst it's great to visualize having money in the account and things like that, it's more to do with the feeling. It's the energy behind it. So what is the emotion that having more money will give you? For example, if I was to have more money, it would give me the freedom to do what I want. So vibrate at that feeling of freedom. Vibrate at that feeling of doing what you want. See yourself doing what you want and being free. Not focusing on money in my account. Does that make sense? The other thing I really want to bring across with visualization, it's great to visualize and it's great, but the thing of feeling is like a seeding. John Kehoe, one of my mentors, which does excellent work with mind mastery, he talks about seeding as really being in the body and really vibrating at that level that you already have what you want. He's got some great and relatively cheap online courses. If anybody's interested, John Kehoe, North American guy. Also, so do all that, and then have in that meditation process, have gratitude for already receiving it. Like, just really revel in that emotion, revel in that feeling and that vibration while you're doing it. Now, a very important thing, and I really kind of want to stress this a bit, is when you've made your list and when you're doing your meditation, at the end of it, I feel it's really, really important to add for the greatest good of all. I feel it's like really important to add that whatever you're wishing for is for your highest and greatest good and the greatest good of all. Hand it over to the divine, because what this does is releases any expectation of how it must come to you. And often we get in our own way with belief systems of how things must happen, and that closes so many doors on how the universe can actually deliver those things to you. So make sure that you leave it open, hand it over to the divine, hand it over to God, hand it over to your angels, hand it over to the universe, whoever it is that you believe in. Ask for all the things that you want, and then let it go by saying, I want these things, should it be in the greatest good of all. And what that does is that when those things come to you, you readily and openly receive it, because you understand that you set that intention and therefore it is rightfully yours. Because a lot of the time, and I know I've done it in the past, I think back in 2013, I wrote down my manifest, and I was manifesting like anything back in those days, just because I felt so free and was so alive and doing so many new things. And it just, I feel like I manifested from ego, and it's not such a bad thing. You can still manifest from ego, but sometimes you get what you ask for, and so sometimes you don't understand that what you're asking for is not necessarily in your highest and greatest good. And so when you release that and you have that statement and that feeling at the end of it, where you just release it to the divine, you know that when it does come to you, that it is for you and it is for your greatest good. So it doesn't matter what happens after that, you know that it's always going to, the outcome will always be for your highest and greatest good. I hope that makes sense. I said it because I really do want to stress that point, and I don't want to stress it, I want to make that point. So have gratitude for, feel the feeling and see the feeling of already having gratitude. Gratitude is such a powerful vibration, emotion. It's very close in Hertz, levels of consciousness, by David Hawkins, to joy, to love. So having gratitude is a celebration. It's understanding that when you have gratitude for something that hasn't even come yet, then the law of attraction will give it and deliver it to you. So gratitude's a really important thing. So you can do all this in a meditation. It doesn't have to be a long meditation. It can be 5 minutes a day. It can be 5 minutes at the beginning when you started to do your set your intention. The other thing I want to talk about is focus. So number 3 is focus, commitment, and inspired actions. So what do I mean by focus and commitment? It's not enough just to write down your list and to visualize your list and hand it over, and that's it. I'm going to use the example for me. For example, if I want to grow my YouTube channel and I write down, I want to grow my YouTube channel, I want so many subscribers by this month, and I have all these wishes and intentions and desires, well, I can't just not do any videos after that. I'm gonna have to do some videos. So having practical action steps in what you can do and what you're committed to do in order to making towards those goals and desires is really important. And look, sometimes when we have no resistance to something and we no beliefs that hold us back or keep us away from the thing that it is that we want, things just seem to materialize, and you're like, wow, that was a miracle, like I'm a great manifester, and that absolutely does happen. So working on those belief systems really helps, and you can do that by, if you write your list of 3, 5, 10 things that you want to manifest this month, and then you kind of grade them with a percentage, saying like, what's the likelihood of this coming true, and really be honest with yourself. And if anything falls under 60% or 50%, then you know that that's the thing that you have to focus more on. That's the thing that you need to give a little bit more attention to than the others, because the others, you already have beliefs that will come true. Whereas the ones that have a lower percentage, there might be some belief systems or beliefs in there that are stopping you from really getting that. So it's a nice way to figure out where you have some blocks, and it's also a great thing to really have those practical steps in maybe making a plan or spending a little bit more time. If you really want that to come true, then you know that you're going to have to focus on that a little bit more this month. So as the moon gains momentum, for example, the new moon was yesterday. I'm only making this video today, so I apologize, but we still are in new moon energy, and it will be for the next 2-3 days. So don't feel like you've missed the boat. Jump on now and write your list and do your meditation and visualize and let it go, and then have those little practical steps on what you can do to make some of those things come true. So for me, it might look like something like, I want to build my YouTube channel to make more income or things like that. Well, practical steps would be, I commit to making 1 video a week or a month, or whatever it is that you're able to commit to. And again, be honest. Now, as the moon, we don't need to be so rigid in timing. As the moon goes and works its way up to the full moon, it is a time of that yang energy that I was talking about, that masculine energy, that do energy, take action energy. We just want to make sure that that's balanced with the feminine, with the flow. And that means that, you know, whilst it's great to be diligent and persistent and take action, you really want to do it when you're feeling good, because you don't want to put the wrong energy into something. So when you're, for example, if I was going to make a video, I wouldn't want to do it when I'm stressed and angry, because it's not going to be of benefit to me. So I want to make sure that I'm giving to myself a little and filling my cup up first, so that I've got more to give to you. And it's like anything, if you're going to plant a seed, which is what we're doing now in the new moon energy, well, it's going to need a bit of nurturing and love and care. It needs a bit of water, a bit of sun, a bit of talking to. I don't know if you know Dr. Emoto with the water experiments, who talks to water and then takes photos, microscopic photos of the water frozen, and it shows that it's beautiful crystalline energy as opposed to what it was before he said beautiful things to it. He also did an experiment with white rice, cooked white rice, where he had 3 jars. One he said I love you to, the other one he said I hate you, or gave it negative energy, and the other one that completely ignored. After I think a week or two, the white rice was still he said I love you to was still quite white and fluffy, and the one he said I hate you or gave negative energy to was kind of brown, and the one they ignored completely was black. So this goes to show, and this is science, I think in World War II or World War I, America actually did this experiment with children, with newborn babies, which is awful because the one that they ignored died. But what I really want to point out here is that this is with everything. So the more attention you give to something, the more it's going to expand in your life. And if you give something no attention whatsoever, then it won't come up in your world anymore. It will be gone. So focus on the love, and you'll grow that, and it will stay healthy. You know, it's so relevant to what's going on in the world at the moment. Plant your seeds and grow them with nurturing, loving care. The other thing I want to mention, and I'm just going to go and get, I got these beautiful cards. They're by Yasmin Boland. I think she's Australian actually, from Tasmania or somewhere. And the new moon in Taurus card came up yesterday, which I don't know where it is right now. But on the card it actually says, and you can see this on my Instagram page, the message from the Mars Hour Instagram page. It says prosperity lies ahead. Now with prosperity lies ahead, I'm thinking like my attention yesterday was really brought to the word lies. And why is it a lie? It's because prosperity doesn't lie ahead. It is in the here and the now. And this is the number one thing to manifest and to realize. If you want to manifest, it is in the here and now that you manifest. You don't manifest in the future, you manifest in the here and now. So with this card, when it said prosperity lies ahead, I was like, yay! And then I was like, hold on, why is that a lie? And it really is a lie, because you might not have abundance around you. When you can see abundance and you can seed abundance and you can be grateful for the abundance or prosperity in your life right here and right now, then the law of attraction says that it must come to you. So that is my 3 things, plus the very main thing is be present in the present moment, enjoy life. This is all we have, right here, right now. Create your own story and manifest, happy manifesting with the moon. If you want to know about any of the other cycles and what points in the cycles that you are to do things, because they all hold a different energy, as I was saying in the beginning of the video, you know, the waxing moon and things like that, the yang energy and the yin energy, sometimes it's time for adjustment, sometimes it's time for reflection, sometimes it's time for just enjoyment. If you want to know any more about that, drop me a comment in the comment section, and I can make some more videos. Otherwise, for those of you that don't know, I am currently doing psychic oracle card readings and shamanic Reiki online. If you want to know more about that, you can visit my intuitive healing channel website. Description is in the comments, in the description box below, or the link. And as always, from my heart to yours, the light I see in you is the light I see in me. We are one. Namaste.